G'day gang, welcome back to another episode about Rocky, our Ranger Super Duty. This episode's a catch up on a bundle of viewer questions that we've received over the last few months, and I've finally been able to get a little bit of footage together and come up with a bit more information to share. Let's get in and have a look, shall we?
Hello and welcome to Audrey the Icon Adventures. I'm Connie.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is Audrey the Icon.
One of the questions we had was about mods that we're doing to Rocky. As you can see just here, spotlights, they went on almost straight away, I think within a day or two of ownership. We've got the boxes on the back as you've seen. Fit out of the boxes, no progress. I've been so busy working on Audrey and working on a project for a client. Rocky's going to get his turn very, very shortly. And when I've got that all sorted out, we'll get in and show you that. So that's going to be a little ways off yet. There's quite a bit for me to do back there. I've got to do some custom design and fabrication, and I'll be happy to share that with you in the very near future. Probably the biggest, most annoying topic that I've seen bantered around in dumbface by all the keyboard warriors and even some of the people on BoobTube is the alternator and the position of said alternator. I'm struggling to be polite. So many of those people are so full of crap, you can smell them from a million miles away. Here's some footage that shows you exactly where the alternator is on a Ranger Super Duty. Let's jump in and have a look at that, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. I've put a torch down there, and I've got the handy dandy pointer again. Let's see if we can actually show this on film. There we go. Right in the center of the screen is the white tip of the handy dandy pointer. That is right on the pulley for the alternator. And yes, it is right down low. It is hard to see. All the people carrying on about the alternator being, oh, it's down low, it's not sealed. Well, guess what? Directly over on this side of the engine, and I'm going to reach down and turn the torch around for you. There you go. See that ribbed pulley down there? That's at about the same level as the alternator. And guess what? That too is an electrical device. That's your aircon compressor. Don't ever hear anyone carrying on about the aircon compressor because it's down low. And then I'll ask all you knockers of alternators down low, where in this engine bay would you fit the alternator? Because I'm having a look around, nowhere. Well, there you go. It is down low. Funny that. And how about that? The aircon compressor is down low as well. And I've not heard a single bo peep out of all of those idiots out there about the aircon compressor crapping out. Well, guess what? It too is an electrical device. It's got an electrically operated clutch in there, so if dirt, crap, corruption gets in, it's going to cause problems. Well, guess what? All the videos that are out there, and I didn't watch this particular video because I'd already seen some comments about it, so maybe I'm a bit biased. A particular person drove a Ranger Super Duty that he didn't buy, and I expect he would never buy, seeing he's a Toyota person. And he drove it even after the car supposedly told him to, hey, stop, pull over, it's not safe to drive me anymore. And no, said person knew better, kept going until it stopped. And then wanted to carry on like a pork chop, no doubt, about the alternator failing. Well, guess what? Plenty of Toyota alternators fail too, and I'm sure there's other brands of four-wheel drive out there where the alternator fails as well. And I'm guessing plenty of those cars don't even come up and say, hey, stupid, stop driving because things are getting bad. Anyway, it's slow. It's just the way it is. It's there for probably a couple of reasons that I can think of very quickly. Probably a primary one is engine packaging. As I said before, where else are you going to fit it in the engine bay? On a V engine, I expect it will always be down low. If you know of a four-wheel drive out there that has a V engine, not an inline, and the alternator's not down low, pop it in the comments please. I'd love to expand that part of my knowledge about the automotive world and be quite surprised. I think the chances of you finding one are extremely slim to none. Anyway, happy to be proven wrong. That's enough about alternators. There's nothing wrong with them. Sick of hearing about it. If you see anyone carrying on about it, just say they fall into the category of thanks for watching and commenting, don't they? Had a question about the air filter in Rocky. The person that was looking at buying a Super Duty had a next gen Ranger and he had some form of aftermarket air filter in that box, and he was inquiring as to whether it would fit. I was very quickly able to say yes, it will. The consumables for our Ranger Super Duty are the same as for a Ranger Next Gen, and here's a little bit of footage just to show you what I quickly found online and where you might be able to pick up some of this stuff for a good price. I'm not affiliated in any way with either of these sites that I'm about to show you. They're just something that I happen to find. Here we are on the Ryco Filters site. I've gone to the search where we can now pop in Rocky's rego number. Yeah, he's based in Queensland. And then we'll go click on that search button, wait a little bit for the results. There we go. Ford Ranger Super Duty Super Cab. And it's an auto, because they all are. Let's click on select here. This just takes a few seconds for it to go and search its database and come up with a list of results. Bang, there we go. Filter Service Kit RSK187C. Let's have a look what you get in that. I used to use these kits on Eddie Hour 2015 Everest. There we go. Look at that. Got some part numbers and a description. Air filter, oil filter, cabin filter, and a fuel filter. Very good. Let's go back and have a look at it. And there's even part numbers there for you. And let's just go back to the list of results we're on. Scroll down a bit here. There we go. Two types of oil filter you can buy standalone. The Syntec, I think, is meant to be a better quality. Haven't looked into that. There's our panel air filter, same as in the next gen, as I said before, for the initial inquiry. There's a fuel filter. Scroll down a little further, and we've got a cabin filter. And we'll scroll just up a little bit more, and we've got a bonus filter that hopefully you won't need for a very long time, and that's for the transmission. There you go. All the part numbers listed, ready to go. TJ Auto Parts, found them just in a internet search. There's the Ryco RSK187C. Let's have a look here. FAQs, a little bit of information to help you know what you're dealing with here. Description, yeah, that's just normal marketing blurb there with a quick read of that. Ryco, I'm not saying you have to. It's just what I happen to use. Compatibility, yep, they're going to fit. And shipping and returns, look at that. We offer free shipping on all orders over $150. Look at that. There we go. Click on that, and there's some information. If it happened to be a bulky item, might be $10 or $15 to have it delivered. That's not too bad. Anyway, what else have we got here? $179.90. Did a quick look for engine oils as well. So I just jumped on the old Snoopy Cheap site here. Yeah, put in that we've got our Ford Ranger Super Duty Super Cab. I personally prefer a fully synthetic oil. Anyway, that's me. We can see here that it's a 530 oil for the listings. Actually, and 8.9 litres is the capacity provided there. Therefore, we need to buy 9 litres more, don't we? Anyway, as I scrolled down the screen just to have a look at what was available, I noticed that all of them were 530. And I thought, well, looks like 530 is the way to go. A couple of different brands there. I'm sure there's one there that'll cover off your favourite or preferred brand if you happen to be organising your own oil changes for any reason. Anyway, there we go. One of the questions was, when you start up your Ranger Super Duty and select tow mode, does the lane keeping assist stay on or turn off automatically? Let's go and have a look. Let's start Rocky up. We'll wait for the lovely screen to settle down. Click OK to the seat belts. Oh, you know what? The bonnet is open. So we'll OK that. There we go. Lane keep assist. Here's that little icon right there at the bottom. It's that grey. If I come back here, show you the steering wheel. This button right here, double click it. Lane keeping system off. And now you see that it's turned orange and got a line through it. I'll turn it back on. There you go. Gonna pop Rocky into drive mode. Ooh, and have the wipers. So in drive, now we're going to select tow mode. Tow haul. And it comes up with this nice yellow colour. And look at that, lane keeping assist is still on. Doesn't matter if you select tow haul mode or not, lane keeping stays on. To turn it off, you have to double tap the button on the steering wheel, or to turn it back on, double tap the steering wheel again. There you go, that was an interesting question from one of our viewers. This one was probably the most interesting question. It had me scratching my head the most, and I haven't got it written down, so hopefully I get it pretty close. The person asked something along the lines of, or they said they'd heard that when you're driving along in your Ranger Super Duty, if you open the driver's door, the vehicle will stop and put itself into park. And I thought, wow, that's a peculiar set of circumstances to sort of have all the balls line up. Anyway, I had to think about it and I went, nah, I don't think that's true. Let me go and have a play. I've had a quick play of Rocky here in the toy room where the shifter does do some things, and let's go and have a quick look at that, shall we? We're sitting in Rocky and he's running. We're in drive, not moving anywhere, parked in the toy room, and I'm just going to open the driver's door and let's see what happens with the shifter and if we get anything up on the instrument cluster. There you go. Because the vehicle's not moving, shifted into park, so there's a bit of a ghost in the car. First time I saw that, I thought it was pretty cool. And up here on the dash, we got the vehicle is on and driver door is open. I am going to put him back into drive. There we go. And he's just staying in drive now. And if I just turn the engine off, there's that ghost again popping the shifter into park for us. There you go. I wasn't driving Rocky when I did that, so it didn't quite fulfill all of the circumstances that that person had asked about. I'm still going to lean on the side that if the vehicle's in motion and you open the door, it's not going to come to a stop and put itself into park. I'm sure there could be some reason why you want to be able to have the vehicle driving forwards or backwards and have the door open. I can think of if you're out on the rough tracks or out in the farm paddock and you want to have a really good look at where the tyre is going, you might, with your seatbelt on of course, open the door and hang yourself out to a degree so you can see exactly where that hole or rock or stump or whatever it is that you want to miss, and you wouldn't expect the vehicle to just stop and pop itself into park. Let's revisit the AdBlue usage. I did a video about that you might recall about 4-ish episodes ago, maybe 5, and I showed you all the components and what I'd learnt at that point. Well, we've done a bit more driving since then, so I just wanted to bring you up to speed with our actual usage. For the last tank of AdBlue, we did 3,859 kilometres. Out of that, 2,350 kilometres we were towing Audrey. We put in about 15.7 litres. The maths worked out it was a smidgen under 0.4 litres per 100 kilometres for AdBlue usage. Now, during that time, Rocky weighs, I always work on about 3.5 tonne with the stuff I've got on the back and a couple of us sitting in the front. And when we're towing, we're somewhere in the vicinity of 5.8 tonne. Now, as I've said before, depending on how heavy your right foot is, the conditions you're driving in, and then how heavily loaded you are, that there alone determines how much AdBlue you will use. So me saying that I'm using 0.4 works for us and our setup. If you're 2 tonne heavier and you drove the exact same roads, the exact same way that we did at the speeds we did, you're going to use more than 0.4. So anyway, they're the numbers that we've used for AdBlue, and when we did fill up, it was saying we had anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100 to go, and based on the math, that was a pretty accurate number. As we burn down another tank of AdBlue, we'll just pop that into another question and answer day for you, and just to keep you up to date with how that goes. Fuel economy. First 2,400 kilometres, no towing. There was plenty of highway driving, both out bush and nice motorways. And then there was about 150 kilometres of towing Audrey, and that's when we also coincided with filling up the AdBlue and filled up. From there, we've done, gosh, another 4,500-ish kilometres with about 2,500 towing. Our numbers overall as an average, because we don't know exactly how much fuel was in him when we got him, was about 14 litres to the 100. That's with all that towing. When we tow, we work on 16 litres to the 100, and when we're not, it's about 12. And again, that's all dependent on the road you're driving. For me to get from where I am here out in the country back to home, where Connie is up north of Brisbane, I drive a lot of rough, crappy roads that they call highways. I call it the Brisbane Valley Goat Track, because that's what it's like. It's rough, it's hilly, it's windy, and it's like that for most of the journey. So obviously it uses more fuel than if I was able to just go out and jump on the highway and just cruise along sitting on 100 all day long, no stop starts. So that's where it's at for us. We're heading off in July for a very big trip. When I say very big, that's time frame. That's 10 and a half weeks we're going to have on the road. How far we drive, we don't know. There you go, gang. That's caught up a lot of the questions that we've had. So thank you to everyone that has asked. As always, I'm always looking for more inspiration for ideas to film about Rocky here. As you all know, we bought him, we own him, we didn't get anything for free. I've stopped watching videos that a lot of other people put up because just about all of them are from people that are either wanting to sell you something, or they don't even own the vehicle, or maybe they're considered some sort of influencer type YouTube person. Thanks to everybody that has jumped on, dropped us some comments, shared the videos, and hey, all the subscribers. When I started all of this, we had 108 subscribers, I think it was. And today, while I'm filming this, we're at 465, which is about 360 more than I thought I'd ever have. So thanks for subscribing. Hopefully I can keep the content coming. If you ask the questions, that makes it easier for me. It's going to thin out a little bit moving forwards, I think, because we've got a few trips that I need to get in and share with the camping followers. As you know, those videos will typically come out on a different day. So if you hit a Tuesday and there's no Rocky the Ranger Super Duty video, just appreciate that I've been busy doing some other things. And until I see you on the screen next time, happy travels.